What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So today I want to talk about a comment that was posted yesterday. And I tell you guys, every time I post something that's talking about living abroad, people who are on Social Security, who are moving, people who are retired, who are moving to different countries, I always get people that respond and say, hey, I am currently living in this country and this is how much I'm paying. And so I want to share this information with you because I think it's very, very important. It just gives you another option. I did have someone post a comment talking about how much they pay in the Philippines to live there. And then I also had someone who posted a comment saying $1,500 for Social Security, that's too much. I don't receive that much. I only receive $1,200. And so we're going to take a look at this comment that was posted. And then I'm going to go ahead and go over to Google because in the comment, this person said, hey, you should check the cost of living. Do a search on Google and see what comes up. And so we're going to do that. And then we're going to talk a little bit about that second person that posted a comment saying, hey, I'm only receiving $1,200 a month in Social Security. Is this doable for me? So that's what we're going to talk about today. But first off, on this channel, we talk about retirement. We talk about Social Security. We talk about what's going on in Washington, D.C. And we also talk about financial news. If that sounds like something interesting to you, please subscribe to the channel and hit that little bell notification. That way you get notified anytime we put out a video. And like always, if you see my name and a picture of me in the comment section, make sure you see a check mark next to my name. That check mark signifies that it's me. If you do not see that check mark, it's not me. It's someone trying to impersonate me. Okay, now it's very, very important. I just asked you guys to subscribe to the channel. It's very important that you do that, okay? And the reason that I'm saying this is because it looks like the algorithm really likes when people subscribe, or they like when you hit the like button, right? So we always say that, but sometimes it just gets a little to the point where you're used to hearing it, so it's not anything that's out of the ordinary. So if you're not subscribed to my channel, please do. That really does help with the algorithm, and it helps me get the message out to more people. Okay, so let's go ahead. I want to take a look at this comment first. And so here's the comment. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the cost of living in the Philippines, according to Google. Okay, so Thomas, thank you for your comment here. Thomas writes, I'm in Tobacco City, Albany, Philippines, and living life good. My rent is $120 a month. Electric is $21 a month. Water, $4 a month. Motorcycle payment is $100 a month for 6 months. Food for 1 month is $175. I get $1,597 a month. Why would I want to live in America? Go to Google, type in what is the cost of living in the Philippines. And so, Thomas, thank you for letting us know exactly how much you're paying in the Philippines. And it looks doable. For $1,597, you're able to manage in another country and probably have a little bit of money left over depending on your spending habits. So the cost of living, that's the last part of the comment that Thomas wrote, the cost of living. What is the cost of living in the Philippines? This is according to Google. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at that. So the cost of living, the Philippines has a generally low cost of living. International Living reports that you could comfortably live on $800 to $1,200 a month, covering housing, utilities, food, healthcare, and taxes. If you live on $800 a month, your $100,000, so let's say you have $100,000 invested or you have a 401k of $100,000, can spread out to about 10 and a half years. And so that's really, really good news. So let's say you're a person and you have a 401k and you contributed and now you have about 100,000. So you contributed 50,000, your employer contributed another 50,000. So you have about 100,000. That can get you 10 years. And so when you start thinking about things and you start thinking about retirement, and you're thinking, okay, well, I have a 401k, and I'll also be collecting Social Security. You can start realistically thinking around 57 years old, if you have that 100,000 banked away and you're considering going outside of the country, going to Philippines or going to Colombia or going to some of these other countries, you can seriously consider it. And so, you know, if you hit 57, you have that 10 years. And that 10 years is what you're going to need before you can start collecting Social Security in most situations, if you want to max out your Social Security. And so this can be an option that some people can consider, right? Because the way that I see it, when it comes to retirement, I think you should be trying to retire as soon as possible and then enjoying life. That's what I think. That's my belief. I don't like to see people working into their 70s and working into their 80s because they can't retire, right? They even with Social Security, they don't have enough to retire, so they have to continue working. I don't like that. I don't like that jobs now are really forcing people to work longer and longer and longer. And a big part of this is because they took away pensions. A lot of companies took away the pensions because they were too expensive for the companies. So that's why they started offering these 401ks. But guess what? The 401ks aren't enough. And so people need to work longer and longer and longer. And they're going into their 70s working just so they can collect Social Security, get to that point where they max out their Social Security at 67. Or if you want to, you can work till you're 70 and then get that extra bonus on top of your maxed out Social Security. And so now that's what we're looking at, because companies, they don't want to do pensions anymore. And so that's why I always encourage people, if you're young and you're looking to retire young, what you should be looking for are companies or jobs, usually it's government jobs, that offer a pension, because those jobs that offer pensions, that's going to be for the rest of your life. That means that you could retire early, get a second job once you retire, and then you can work part-time or what have you, but you're still collecting that pension, and that pension will be for the rest of your life. It's not like a 401k. 401k, that money can run out. But when it comes to a pension, you're going to get that same amount. You'll get the cost of living increase every year, and you'll be better off if you're doing with the pension than if you go with the 401k. And companies know this, and that's why they got away from the pensions, because they were losing too much money or spending too much money, however you want to see it, spending too much money on pensions. And so now they've gotten away from that and they moved to that 401k. So I just wanted to share this with you because I did have a few people in the comments, and one of them I remember distinctly, they said $1,200 is how much I have. Would I be able to live in another country with $1,200? And now one more thing I want to talk about when it comes to retirement. Everyone is different. Okay, some people spend more, some people don't spend a lot. So you could be in a situation where you have enough money to retire because you're frugal. You don't spend a lot of money. You might want to consider going to another country and living. So you can retire early because that's your whole plan anyway. You didn't want to stay in the U.S. You want to go to another country. So you can retire early. And there are a lot of people that are doing that. And so I always like to share this information with you because I just want you to have options. When we get to the point where we retire, we should have options, and we shouldn't be forced to live below the poverty line in the U.S. if we can move somewhere else and live a good life, a good, fruitful life, okay? Because you only have one life, and you get to this point where you've worked your whole life, and now you're looking at a situation where you have no money. And it's really sad because they've contributed to the government their whole life. They've paid taxes, they've done all the right things, and they either had a mishap or they just don't have enough to cover because of inflation, because of all the stuff that's going on. And so that's why I like to put this out there and say, hey, look, there are other people that are doing things, and they're very creative, and they're figuring out ways to make ends meet, and they're going to other countries, and they're living a good life. And so that's why I'm sharing this. And so that's all I have for this video. But if you do have any questions, or if you want to let me know, hey, I'm living in Colombia, I'm living in Thailand, I'm living in the Philippines, this is how much I'm paying, let me know in the comment section, and then I might share this with other people just so they know that there are other possibilities out there. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. And like I said, please subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell notification. It does help with the algorithm. And that's all I have. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.